afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for August 1st, Sunday, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a time for change call this Wednesday at 9 p.m. and a reverse aging call on Friday. We're going to have a guest with her creation. And we will have Dr. Russ on as well, attending to a lot of things that are happening out there. When there's so many on the planet that are looking for financial rescue, and it seems like there's a lot of people believe that there's some kind of a obstacle that's stopping the flow of wealth, of financial wealth for the people of planet Earth. And since there's so many that are being distracted with so many different avenues, it's difficult for many to focus, especially when they're not really awake to basically, to understand that the flow, it doesn't matter externally what's happening with the wealth. What does matter is the perspective of the people of planet Earth of wealth. To believe that it is it's something that they have to get or acquire, in other words, given to them type thing. In reality, the wealth, or the money, is there and can be set free from the perspective that it is already in the hands of the people of planet Earth. So there's so many things that we face in the money aspect of this life, and it's been designed that way so that it challenges everybody on a continual basis, and people feel pressured and stressed out. I know, because we're confronted with that every day on funding, on how the banks work and how they stall things and how they're dishonest, and it's just an understanding on how the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies operate. So how do you, as a meditation, how would we eliminate that obstacle across the planet, in all the banks, in all of the devious ones, all the manipulators, all of these corrupted souls, these who are heavily entrenched in greed and manipulation and misdirection? Because honestly, when the wealth is not being flowing, when it's not consistently flowing across the planet, then it's basically being harbored and hidden from the people so that they can't benefit from it. That's the main purpose, so it's a control factor for the people of planet Earth. So in this meditation, this is a directed understanding. It has nothing to do with greed, envy. This is a deep, eternal, loving frequency, the God Force Love Light energy within all of us, to direct it and to visualize the release of all the wealth to the people of planet Earth. And when we mean the people of planet Earth, we're not talking about the bankers. We are not talking about all those who control it at this point. We are talking about the people of planet Earth. We're talking about the people of America, and the people of Russia, the people of Asia, not the governments, not the banking system. So this is an understanding that the wealth is designed to flow freely across the planet into the hands of all the people of the planet, not to be constricted or hidden away on a continual basis for thousands of years and kept from the people. Now, this isn't a meditation that has anything to do with revenge, worry, stress, fear, anxiety, hurriedness. This has everything to do with increasing the vibrational frequencies around and with money so that it is freed to the people of planet Earth. And you can choose to visualize it through your heart, mind, motion picture, of which you're the director, the producer, the creator, choreographer, of which you're everything. Knowing that we all are omnipotently powerful within these bodies, collectively, all of us gathered in this meditation are going to direct it. And this is part of freeing the people of planet Earth. And the right now, of course, one of the key areas and avenues is freeing up the financial flow so that many people on this planet can start engaging in their projects and helping others and save literally millions of lives. And there's many people on the planet that are stymied because they don't have the financial resources to engage their projects. And these are heartfelt, genuinely through the heart mind people that have dedicated their lives to these projects. So and also across the board so that people are not struggling and stressing and fearing financially. It's unnecessary. It is an unnecessary creation of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. And the residual hold on it needs to be vanished. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. Well, I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we decide to do is to relax our bodies. Now, knowing that we are not the body, but also knowing that the body is like a sponge and it absorbs everything, all negatives, all lower frequencies, stress, fear, anxiety, worry. And we ask ourselves, it's a real simple question, does this serve me the greater good? Does it really? And it's being very honest with yourself, trusting, loving, gentle, kind, generous, humble. Does this serve me the greater good? Does this frustration and anxiety and fear and worry, does it serve me the greater good? And I would say about 99.999% of the time, you say that no, it doesn't. So you let it go. You surrender it. You give it up. You don't lose anything. People, I think they're going to lose things if they surrender or give things up. But it's not about that. It's freeing oneself from all the avenues of stress, which is the biggest detriment for our bodies. So we let it go. And even if you have to let it go, or you choose to let it go, 100 times a day. But you get in the habit of letting it go. Every time it comes in, you let it go. You walk right through it. You're not angry, you're not frustrated, you just walk through it. This is something I don't need. It doesn't serve me the greater good, so I let it go. In doing that, the body becomes much lighter. And you find that you're not engaging the ego mind. You're not constantly engaging the external reality of this world. And you're in the center. If you want to call it the storm of the external reality, then We call it the storm. You're in the center of the storm. Totally calm, totally peaceful. And when the body is relaxed and you've really dumped all of these things that we hold with us, and fear, worry, and stress and anxiety, then we move into the now. And the now is absolutely all that we have. We don't have a past because it's all dead. It's the past. It's over. These are things that we learn, maybe that we carry with us in our subconscious mind. But there's no past. There's only the now. And there's no future. There's only the now. We create our futures in the now. And when we move into the now, we leave the ego mind and the subconscious mind alone. So we can watch them. We don't judge them, but we watch them. That's how we learn how to master them. And you'll experience a quiet, that there's no chatter. None of these millions of programmed thoughts floating by you. It's just total peace, total silence. And the now stills the ego and the mind and the subconscious mind. You're only focused on one thing, the moment. Moment to moment. Doesn't matter what you're doing. It's like breath to breath, the space between heartbeats. Now, some of us, we have memories and we reminisce those memories. I mean, we review them. A song could spark it off, or a conversation or a place, and then you're reviewing something that you experienced in your past. And you review it, and in the event it's a good one, then you kind of enjoy it quite a bit, and then you let it go. And then if there's areas in our past that we've learned, that we've stored in our subconscious mind, that basically are to make sure that we don't do it again, or something that we have learned not to do, or something that we should have done. And it's just like a reference library. But we don't fixate on it. We don't hug it and drag it through this life forever. But some of us do. Some of us live in that past, which is totally dead. There's no life. Completely null and void. It's like an elephant graveyard. It's just dank, no air movement, nothing. And we will stay there so long, and I don't believe it's intentional, but we'll stay there so long that we end up taking it into a future that doesn't exist, and we create the future from the past, and we relive that past and that future. There's a lot of people will say to themselves, no matter what we do, we always end up in the same place. Some of us will go into the future that doesn't exist, and we wonder. We wonder why we haven't had this, and why this hasn't happened, and why this is going on, and why that's going on. And when am I going to have this, and when is this going to happen for me? And we do it, all of us at times. But the now is our true place. It's our true power in this body. But how do you stay in the now? Because we've got these millions of thoughts that float by like clouds in the sky. And a lot of the times we could be doing something, focused on something, that'll take us right away. We're floating off to these other thoughts. No matter how much you focus, it happens. You find yourself in thoughts, mostly aren't yours, that take you into another place. another attention, another direction. And it happens a lot to us. It's just that we aren't that conscious about it. But always being gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself, and in the highest of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude with yourself 24/7. You view it. You say, okay, it's not a big deal. I've wandered off, so I'll focus on my breath, your divine positive energy. Soul comes in the body, everything starts up in the body. Lungs start operating, produce oxygen, breath. Sustains the body that holds the God, the pure consciousness. It then also focuses you, relaxes you, strengthens you, eases you. So there's no question about it. It's divine positive energy, very powerful, omnipotently powerful. So when we do that, we wander off from the now, we focus on our breath, and we're in the now. 3,000% of the time, we're always in the now whenever we focus on our breath. You may end up doing it several times a day to stay in the now. And people say, well, why do you need to stay in the now? Because you don't know if that now is going to be the last now in that body. You just don't know. And on top of it, there is no tomorrow until tomorrow is the now. And there definitely is no yesterday, which is the past. There is only the now. So it's like these bodies that we're in. We can see, if we choose, when we choose, how the body operates. We can see the wheels of light in the center of the body from the tailbone to the top of the head. We have learned that we flow as the gods within these bodies. We flow through those wheels of light, like a perpetual energy fountain. And those wheels of light basically span out through the whole body, the blood flow, the organs, all the tissues, everything, all the emotions, all of it. So you can understand that it's interesting, isn't it, that most of us don't have an intimate understanding of our bodies because we're so distracted with the external authority outside these bodies. Whereas sometimes people will become upset if you don't make a decision for them in this life, because they're so used to seeking decisions being made for them in the external reality, the external authority. So understand that those wheels of light, those energy vortexes, there is where we, the gods, flow through the body. And you can see the different colors, and you recognize them. And you can see the red wheel of light that's at the tailbone, which is your root chakra, the body's root chakra, which is our survival. This is our money, finances, food, shelter, clothing, water. And whenever we express fear, when the body expresses fear, that blocks our survival. It blocks our money. It blocks our finances. It blocks our wealth. It blocks our well-being. It blocks all of that. And who does it? We do. All of us. It isn't anything coming from outside of us. It is always us that are creating these things. So our survival, the very thing, our survival, we block our survival through our fear. Isn't that interesting? And how does the fear dissolve? How is the fear dissolved? How actually is the fear dissolved? You don't attach yourself and don't have any expectations. It's a toughie at times. When you panic, you fail. Even though there's no failing, there's no win and there's no lose. There's just experience. We move to the orange wheel of light, which is our pleasure. It's the sacral chakra. It's our joy and happiness and good feeling, where you just, everything is just falling into place. Everything works wonderfully well in your life. And then we create the guilt. And those are thoughts that aren't ours that come in and stop us from being happy and enjoying our lives. Stop us from experiencing wealth, prosperity, and abundance. Everything that happens to any of us is due to us. So the guilt that we create, that we've been programmed to create, stops our pleasure, our joy, our sexuality, everything. Then we move to the yellow wheel of light, the solar plexus chakra. This is our willpower. You know, it's when you really want to do something and you set your mind to it, and most importantly, your heart, and you do it, you accomplish it. But sometimes, because we create this thought of shame, then it stops our willpower. We aren't successful. We don't get there. It's like when you want to lose weight, and you'd end up not doing it. Okay? It's how you look and how you feel others view you. If you're overweight, and you feel shameful. Then we move to the emerald green wheel of light, which is the heart chakra. It's our ability to love. And our love always starts with ourselves before it can go anywhere else. And unfortunately, most of us don't understand that. And the love for ourselves is not a romantic love. It's a much higher love than that. And our love is blocked by grief. So the grief is what we have been programmed to believe exists, because we don't understand the very fabric of existence. So grief blocks our love. Then we move to the blue wheel of light, the throat chakra, and this deals with our vocal cords, our voice, our speech, and it deals with our truth, and then it's blocked by the lies. And then we move to the indigo wheel of light. This is the third eye chakra. This deals with our insight. You know, you have an insight about something, a knowing. And that's blocked by illusion. And then the crown chakra, which is the very top of our heads, this deals with the direct connection to the divine, which is you. And what blocks that? What blocks the direct connection to you, the God, within that body? Ego attachment. The ego blocks it. So we flow with our divine positive energy through the body, and we flow to the top through all of these wheels of light, through the entire body. Isn't it interesting that we don't know our bodies, and because we don't know our God? So therefore, how can we know the body if we don't know the God that flows through the body? So we hold ourselves, we're like a perpetual energy fountain, never ending, in these bodies. And so we hold our energy, we are love, we are God, and we are one. And we can compress and condense ourselves into pure, liquid, omnipotently powerful energy. And then we pour ourselves over the body's pineal gland. Now, you see the pineal gland in your heart, mind's motion picture, however you see it. I see it as a green ball of rosebud. It's very important to us while we're in these bodies because when it's fully functioning, without constraints, it connects us to all the particles of existence. And so when we pour ourselves over it, in my case, I see it and it transforms into this massive rose, fully bloomed, with multicolored petals, and this fragrance that is indescribable. It's so wonderful. And it sends out these shimmering mist waves that kind of blend with me. And I feel the deepest eternal love, the deepest eternal gratitude, the deepest eternal peace. There are no words to describe that feeling. And it's not intermittent, it is constant. And then I realize that the rose is the God within this body, which is the true me. The God's the rose is the God. It is reflection for all of us to understand that we are the God. There is nothing that we cannot create. Nothing. There is nothing we cannot direct the universe into shifting for us. Moving energy into form, creating it into reality, manifesting it. Nothing. The only thing that stops us is the ego mind. That's the only thing that stops us. Because without the ego mind, we are limitless. There are no limits. There are no governors governing us. There's nothing. We are completely free. And we are completely free to manifest anything and everything that we choose into this life. Now, these bodies, the higher self, the soul, the spirit, the heart mind, the ego mind, the God, the pure consciousness, it's all one. And we know that the soul in the body, soul the heaven, in the body the earth, heaven on earth, that's for parts of us that are consciously aware to a certain extent. Those who are asleep are also parts of us, but they don't hear us because they're asleep. They're always with us, but they're just asleep. Now, we also know that those of us who are consciously aware know that every step we take on this planet, we are creating paradise. And we've learned to shine our light outward 360 degrees, 24/7. And the light emanates from the God force, love, light, energy that we all have in these bodies. And we flood this planet, all that there is, ever has been, ever will be on it, above it, in it, around it. Pure, deep, eternal love flooding all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, all of our brothers and sisters, whether awake or asleep, 24/7. Now, this is a concentrated meditation for the release of wealth to the people of planet Earth. That's what it's for. That's our direction, as all the gods that we are. This is not a complicated meditation. It's a very simple one. Of course, none of them are really complicated. It's really simple. Our intent, as we call out to all of the parts of us that are consciously aware, is to focus our God Force Love Light energy on eliminating and releasing any constraints, restrictions, manipulation, redirection, dishonesty, greed, power, control from the wealth. In other words, cleansing everything that is the wealth, purifying it with the power of the highest and the deepest, purest eternal love. And then wrapping that with the deepest, purest of the purest gratitude. And then the deep eternal peace. Visualizing that wealth, the finances, the monies, of a total, complete, unobstructed flow, as it should be, as it was designed to be. And then you feel it and see it on this planet, everywhere. You visualize it. You see it everywhere. You see the wealth coming into the possession of all of the heart-minded beings on this planet for the entire mankind, not the governments, not the corporations, not the corrupted souls, their residents that's barely here now, but to the people, to the heart-minded people of planet Earth, to all those who have been, always will be, in deep eternal love and consciously aware. You can see the streets of this planet, the nature of the planet. You can see gold everywhere, silver and platinum, as it truly is. It is an illusion. The illusion is what keeps us from actually seeing it, touching it, feeling it. Because in the end, everything surrounding it, everything that creates it, is our doing. It is our doing, whether consciously or unconsciously, that we restrict ourselves in the understanding that we are limitless beings, that we can create, we can manifest anything simply by directing our deep eternal love over the mind and manifesting. But it's all that chatter, all that sterile reality that keeps trying to seep in to condition us to believe otherwise. All the wealth on this planet was created by, guess who? You. All of us. All the money. all the gold, all the silver, everything was created by all of us. Doesn't it make sense that we begin to understand that, embrace that, and then release all of the illusions and the ego attachments and the expectations? And then the universe you're not standing in the way. The universe has no obstacles, so it flows easily and effortlessly to all of us. There's no longer a worry, a fear, an anxiety, a stress about money. Because we all know that it flows to us, through us, with us, above us, below us, everywhere. So imagine how you will receive without expectations or attachments. That the wealth will flood the planet for the first time in the history of this civilization's existence. Nothing will be able to hold it back. Nothing will be able to redirect it, because that nothing was always us, holding it back, redirecting it, manipulating it, using it for nefarious purposes. This will set the planet free as far as the surface population and the release of the projects that people are in waiting for, and doing what they can to move and progress forward. Like everything into the new earth, it is the opposite of the old earth. There will be no constraints for the money because we intend it. There will be no dishonesty because we intend it. Because we just basically, with the deep eternal love that we are, send it to the universe, and we have no doubt, total trust, total faith that it will be. So it is, so it shall be. And all you ever care to do is to believe it, and then see it, and then experience it. And the guilt's no longer there, and the shame's no longer there, and the fear is no longer there. This is a total shift in the perception, thinking, and feeling of money. It is good. It is powerful. It can be used for the best of the best or the worst of the worst. We've already experienced the worst of the worst. So none of us are in the dark about that. Now we know that the only way for progression is to experience the best of the best with the wealth of the planet in the hands of the heart-minded people of planet Earth. Not just now, but throughout eternity. And to maintain that understanding and the respect for the power that we created, that is money. See it, feel it in your heart, mind's motion picture. Understand it, embrace it, with no expectations, no attachments. And all those that we call in these meditations are listening and with us as well, all the parts of us that are consciously aware that we all are from the highest of the highest, highest, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace, 24/7. Maintaining this frequency will open up the floodgates to the distribution of wealth to the people of planet Earth, all of the heart-minded people. So visualize that in the silence. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose. And an easy breath out through the mouth. Move slowly and easily. See through your heart minds the lifting of all of this obstacle in every direction of which we've created, and with gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, we release it. Let it go. No stress, no fear, no anxiety, no second guessing. All the prosperity and abundance and the wealth is released into the hands of all of the heart-minded people on this planet. Effortlessly. As long as we maintain a no attachment and no expectation, and as long as we move through our heart minds from the gods that we are, this wealth will flood the planet endlessly. And all the instructions of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies won't have one effect on it. Untouchable, completely free-flowing, unobstructed, with ease. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we will return here Monday, August 2nd, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.